Hey everyone, Rick Albert here. I thought I'd give kind of some general market updates now that we are starting the second quarter of 2021. We've made it, we've gotten this far. It was not the longest March in history, so I'm super excited about that. But let's talk about what's been going on. So, for starters, March was actually a really busy month for Los Angeles County. Let's start. Median price point 775,000. It is up 25,000 from February. That means people are paying more money going into this next quarter, right? Why is that? Well, inventory is still low. Interest rates were still in the twos. Now they've been creeping up. Now they're past threes. Still super low. I would not freak out. That's just how it is. As the economy does better, so do interest rates in the opposite direction, right? They go up. So economy does better, interest rates go up. Economy is doing really bad, interest rates go down. Either way, the Fed is trying to keep these rates as low as possible because they know that does help increasing buying power. So for those that are thinking, well, if interest rates go up, that means home prices would go down. They might, but the reality is you're paying the same monthly, so it makes no difference. Let's talk about days on market. How long are homes sitting on the market? Well, the average for March was 10 days. 10 days, that is so fast. Now, to put it in perspective, to make you go by even faster, think about this. Well, that's when the offer was accepted. The accepted offer was on day 10, but they may have received offers a couple days prior, which means homes are really probably sitting on the market for no more than, let's say, a week before we start getting offers in. One of my latest listings on Tuba here in Mission Hills, we got offers, actually blind offers, even before we officially came onto the market. So it just goes to show how fast that went. In comparison to February, it was 12 days. So homes are moving faster. And it could be that people are just starting to buy, right? The people are now like kind of gearing up. Okay, we just finished one of the worst years of many people's lives, but I still have my job. I still have money in the bank. I can make this jump. Let's go into what really was interesting to me, which was home sales in general. So we're looking at 6,273 homes sold in the month of March. Now in February, it was only 4,627 homes. That's a big jump, right? That is a huge jump as far as number of closed sales. What does that tell us? Well, some might argue that that means more homes are coming to the market. We're seeing more inventory that we didn't have before. That's a good sign if you're looking to buy. It means that more people are thinking about selling. Now, before you start thinking, oh my gosh, it's not going to become a buyer's market, think again. The month supply was at 2.1 in March. February was 1.9. That means if no new homes came to the market, it would only take 2.1 months for all homes to sell. And 6 months is the balanced market. So anything below 6 months is seller's market, anything above is buyer's market. So in actuality, we would need almost triple the inventory for it to become a balanced market. So we're still a long ways away, but there are people looking to sell, right? I represented a buyer recently and I was talking to the seller and he's like, look, I wasn't planning on selling, but I saw the house across the street go for that price. And I was like, well, excuse my language, but shit, if he's getting that price, I might as well give it a whirl. And that's what he did. He ended up getting actually more than what that other one sold. It was a better house, just so everyone's clear. It was like my buyer overpaid. As a matter of fact, even though my client paid above list price, it's still appraised. No appraisal issues there. Really important to keep in mind. What else are we seeing in the market? No appraisal contingencies is kind of a big deal right now. And a lot of it has to do with home prices going up and up and up, that some sellers and even realtors are getting kind of hesitant. They're like, well, what if it doesn't appraise? Now we have to renegotiate the price. But these buyers are coming in and saying, don't worry about that. I'll pay the difference if it doesn't appraise. So in terms of a housing bubble, because that's, you would think that's a sign of a bubble, not necessarily, right? Because the lender isn't playing ball, right? They're not going into this frenzy. They're looking at it as like, look, we're only going to lend based off what the appraised value is. If you want to put in your cash, that's your business. Whereas back in 2008, they either found an appraiser to get it to appraise, or they're like, you know what, we'll make it work. Now it's a little bit different. So where could we see an issue? Well, if we have another economic shutdown, right, that could lead to a bubble because all these home buyers who may or may not lose their jobs, if they lose their jobs, now they're cash poor because they just dumped it in the difference in their home price. So there is that risk going forward, but based on what we're seeing, how the economy's doing, how the vaccine's doing, right? April 15th, everyone's going to be able to get the vaccine. So it's unlikely we're going to see another economic crash or anything like what we saw last year. Fingers crossed, I really hope for the best for people. So what are you to do? Well, if you are looking to buy, the best advice I can give you is to keep trucking along, right? Because eventually all these cash buyers or these buyers that are paying the difference, they're all going to find a home. In which case, that's going to leave just you, right? Those who may not have the cash, those doing FHA, but those sales that they did are now comparable sales. So it's not like we'd see prices drop because of it. Now it's just a matter of like, okay, it'll appraise. That's really what it comes down to. If you're looking to sell, you really got to consider selling. I mean, the way I look at it, when I was trying to talk to one of my sellers recently, longtime friend, and I said, look, the question is, if you decide to sell, what would you do with the cash? And that's what you have to think about if you're thinking about selling your home. Hey, what would I do with literally $500,000 in some cases? I have some clients who are netting a few $100,000. By the way, tax free if you lived in it 2 of the last 5 years, right? If you're single, first 250,000 is tax free. If you're married, 500,000. So if you have a couple $100,000, what can you do with that money? You could reinvest it, right? Stocks, mutual funds, whatever. You could buy another property, right? Have you actually thought about, am I in my dream home? What would I want? Do I really want this pool or do I not want a pool? You know, I have a 2-bedroom house. I really need a 4-bedroom house. 4-bedroom houses have become extremely popular right now because they need that work from home. So think about, what would I do with that money? Now's a good time to do it because there are buyers. I got 15 offers on my last listing. That means I could have sold that home 14 more times. I had to disappoint 14 other people. Whereas if I had more listings in that neighborhood, I could have sold it to all of them and everyone would have been a happy camper. So just something to think about going into the second quarter. Of course, I'll do my housing updates with my good friend John Kim. We got to schedule that. I'm going to be doing more interviews this quarter. And I'm really, really pushing to help more people. Whether you're house hacking, want to buy for investment purposes, building wealth, super important. If you want to sell your home, let's get you into that dream home, right? The market right now is in your favor. I have clients, I was like, hey, you want a 30-day rent back? You can get it. Now's the time to do it. I actually have one of my recent listings. Not only did it get him no appraisal contingency and $86,000 above the list price, I helped him buy a house for below that list price. I was able to negotiate $23,000 down and make it contingent. The deals are out there. You just have to find them, and I'm here to help. So if you guys need anything, DM me, share this with friends. Love to get your thoughts. You guys have an amazing, amazing, amazing weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.